Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
Hello and welcome to the Popternative podcast, the podcast and talk show where we have digital discussions from the worlds of TV, film, pop culture, music, social media, news, sports, everything really depending on the guest we talk about it all. As always, I'm your host, Peter Remoliotis. On social media, you know me as PD Beats. My guest is the vocalist, guitarist, and chief songwriter of a band called Yukon Blonde. We're with Jeff Innes. Jeffrey, welcome to the show, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I mean, it's always an exciting time when a band puts out new songs. I mean, you guys are putting out songs. You guys have been a band for a good amount of time now, but it never gets old, eh? You make songs, you put them out there, people listen to them. It's kind of like but there's always going to be a bit of that kind of like nerve-wracking feeling, right? Like the reception of what's it going to be like after we put these songs out.
Usually, but I mean, and this could be a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But like this last record we put out, I wasn't nerve-wracked like usual. I was like really confident about this record and like I stand behind it 100%. I know that I did everything the best that we could, and we recorded it all ourselves, so that might have something to do with it. But yeah, we're very proud of the record, and yeah. So
it's funny how we live, because like on Spotify, and Spotify is a platform that a lot of bands like Yukon Blonde have kind of benefited from, because a lot of people I know have discovered your band through Spotify, which is awesome. But like Spotify told me for my Spotify Wrap, because they give you kind of your year in review, that I listen to like over 280 genres of music, which was like ridiculous, because it's like I didn't even know that exist. It's kind of funny because the term easy listening, I feel like you can kind of pinpoint Yukon Blonde to that kind of direction. I mean, you put on a Yukon Blonde song and it's just nice kind of ear candy that you can casually listen to. Do you agree with that assessment, Jeffrey?
Sure, yeah, we'll be in there with Kenny G and Hall and Oates. Why not?
I mean, like I feel like easy listening is kind of like taking like, I don't know, man. Like I honestly find like bands, like a lot of like they said like indie rock and everything. You know what I mean? Bands like Vampire Weekend. I just put them on and put a nice like playlist and just kind of, that's easy listening to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The instrumental like easy listening. I feel like that's like old school easy listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I personally feel like we're EDM, like we're on the cutting edge of EDM, but like no one understands it because like we have guitars and real drums and stuff. So people just haven't caught up to using. I'm just kidding. I'm just messing with you. I don't think we're EDM.
It's one of those things though where, do you guys like putting yourself in a genre? That was where I was going with the spot, like the 279 genres. Like, you can't really put Yukon Blonde in one genre, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, I mean, every song or record that we come out with, we just kind of make sort of just what's inspiring us at the moment.
Yeah.
I've been just really into Star Wars the last little bit. I mean, helped by The Mandalorian, but then I went through like all seasons of Clone Wars and stuff. And I've just got this I've just been writing this music that's like, I feel like it just should belong in a Star Wars movie. But I mean, it's just like the restrictions that we place on us are sort of really minimal. We just kind of like whatever's kind of making us tick.
But why should there be restrictions? Like, I don't think there should be restrictions.
No, there shouldn't. I agree with that. But it is kind of interesting. You think about like genres like metal or something like that, and there are like strict requirements to be metal. Like genre defining is sort of a part of the thing.
It is true. Yeah.
Like people have arguments. They're like, no, that's not black metal, man. That's like doom metal and stuff, like, which are very different genres.
Man, like even like the metalcore stuff, you know what I mean? You have friends that are in a lot of like hardcore bands and like we all have friends that are in that kind of genre. And like the people that say metalcore is not metal, like drives me nuts.
It's so crazy. But I mean, so for them, that sort of thing matters, obviously. For me, like, I don't know. I guess I just want to be listened to as a musician and kind of sort of graded on my individual songs or whatever. I mean, you could look at the whole picture and be like, you know what, I don't like anything that you did, or I like some of what you did, and that is preferable to me than just being like, yeah, I don't really like indie rock, or I love indie rock, so therefore I will listen to you.
But what is indie rock? What is an indie film these days? I mean, we're getting into a lot of things right now, and it's going to drive me nuts, but it's just like, what is that these days? There's like bands that have like millions of streams that are indie, and like that defeats the whole purpose of indie. One can make an argument. You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
Yeah. It was just, it was just one of those things that was just kind of taken up by, I guess, ironically, probably record labels to sell records. You know?
Well, I think I mentioned Vampire Weekend, right? That's the one that always comes to mind, right? Because that was like an indie rock band that was like huge. You know what I mean?
It is kind of funny. Those guys are sort of the poster children for indie rock, and they're one of the biggest bands in the world. Or like
Arctic Monkeys.
What's that?
Arctic Monkeys. Remember Arctic Monkeys?
Totally indie rock. Tame Impala, indie rock. These bands are playing stadiums. Like, it's so funny.
I'm glad that we're on the same page with that. Jeff, we're going to do a segment right here on the show. This is a segment that we do so my listeners and my viewers can get to know bands like Yukon Blonde. So this is an opportunity for you to kind of talk about some of your songs. So it's usually called Name 3, but because you got a new record out, it's exciting times. We're going to do Name 6. So what I'm going to do is we're going to do 2. Usually I tell people to name 3 songs of the band, kind of an intro. There's 3 specific songs, but we're going to do that times 2. So you're going to start with a new record, 3 songs on the new record, and then you're going to do 3 older songs from Yukon Blonde, like songs that aren't on the new record. So I need you to name me a upbeat Yukon Blonde song. I need you to name me a heartfelt, close to your heart, warming Yukon Blonde song, and then I need like a trendy kind of like newer Yukon Blonde song. It could be like a single or something. So I want you to do it from the new record, and then I want to do it from other discography of Yukon Blonde. So name 6, go for it. So
okay. Can I take my time, or is this rapid fire?
Take your time, man. It's your time. Okay. So those are the 3 though. I want upbeat, I want heartfelt, I want trendy. This is name 6 of Yukon Blonde. Go.
Okay. I feel like everything that we do is upbeat, so I'm just gonna go with like maybe happy. I'm gonna use that.
Yep.
From the new record, nothing. I'm just kidding. From the new record, I guess upbeat or a little bit more rocking is the last track, which is called Big Black Cloud. Mm-hmm. That's a really fun song. Actually, okay, yeah, no, that's good. No, maybe I'm going to go with, I'm going to change this right now.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with YGTT.
That's, I was about to say, that one's a pretty kind of like that's a crunchy, yeah. I was about to say.
Yeah, I think that one. And then and then something heartfelt. Well, I mean, the song "In Love Again." It's probably it's like the love song on the record.
Yeah.
And then something trendy and hip.
Could be like a new single. People usually just drop. People get lazy with that one. They're just like, yeah, I like this song because it's a single, and we have a music video for it.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have a video for this one, but it's called Get Precious, but it is the single, and it is pretty hip sounding.
No, absolutely. It's more, it's more like, because, I love the fact that, like, we have the access to people to listen to your music is pretty awesome. They can go to YouTube, they can go to Spotify, Apple Music. So I like to give an opportunity to someone to listen to this. They have, like, 5 or 6 songs they could just go check out right now. You know what I mean? They kind of have an idea of what they are, right? Like the heartfelt ones. So I'm glad you did that. You made me laugh a little bit there, and I almost dropped my tea. Where you were like, on the new record, nothing. So that could have been really bad because like I wasn't.
Oh, you got a tea going. See, I feel I've been drinking coffee, but I feel like I've been peer pressured into drinking this coffee. Because I saw you drinking a thing.
This is tea. I usually drink coffee though. This is a rarity. But I once got chirped because I was drinking coffee in a tea glass, and I didn't realize it was a glass for tea. It was like, because like the oval shaped ones and the round ones, those are for tea, right? For the steeping purposes. Like I didn't know that, and I got kind of like schooled in like T101, and I was just like, okay, this is happening right now.
That's so weird. I often wonder like if there's any real discernible difference between that stuff. Like if you can actually tell.
I know. It's like, I don't know. But apparently it's supposed to be kind of bigger and rounder so that it steeps better. I don't know. There's probably a science around it. I don't know.
It's possible. I mean, there's people who have like wine aerators, you know, they do that sort of thing. And like you have to have a pretty refined palate. You have to be like there's a massive responsibility on your shoulders to be able to be like, oh, I can tell the difference between the aerated wine that was, you know, at a perfect 5 degrees and sat out for an exact 10 minutes before I drank it. Like,
Absolutely.
I don't know. I feel like I have a hard time telling the difference between a $10 bottle of wine and a $50 bottle of wine. Like
the fact that there is like a $50 bottle of wine too is just like another kind of topic for discussion. Or like how, yeah, it's just, but
I will say, however,
yes.
So I'm gonna backpedal a little bit.
Okay.
Because you can definitely tell the difference. Do you drink whiskey ever?
No, but I have friends, and I think I know where you're going with this. You could tell good whiskey and bad whiskey. Is that where you're going with that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's a massive difference.
I have friends that are really big whiskey guys, and like You know what? Before I have 2 other questions I want to ask you, but you know we're having a good time. There's good vibes here. Yeah. Are you a fan of the dad jokes? Do you like the dad jokes?
Yeah, I love dad jokes. I mean, I tell them.
I happen to be like a dad joke connoisseur, where like I just have them kind of like rapid fire. And the thing is, I gotta go get new ones because the ones I'm telling you right now, people watch past episodes. I always use the same one, so I'm gonna get called out on YouTube very soon. But you know what, man? Did you hear about that in the news? The kidnapping? Did you hear about that, Jeff?
No.
It's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay. Yeah. It's okay because he woke up.
Oh my God. That's good.
And you know what? Remember when we used to work at that shoe factory, Jeff? You know, we both quit on the same day because we really thought it was soul destroying.
Yeah, that place sucked.
You know what they say too, you can't trust stairs, you know, because they're always up to something, right?
Oh my God.
I know these are really
but you know, we're kind of in this part of the interview. I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself. Did you you know that damn it. I was going to tell you a dad joke. I forgot it though. Wait. You know, I always wanted to be a juggler. I just didn't have the balls to do it. And my dad, you know, he was a surgeon. You know, I messed it up. But, you know, my grandpa, you know, he hated it when I messed up dad jokes. I'm literally messing all of these. I'm so embarrassed.
You should just bury the jokes with a shovel because it was a groundbreaking invention.
Oh, great! I didn't set you up so good.
that was really. I'm sorry. I'm really proud of myself for that setup there.
The one is though, the one after the other one. So you got to set up one like my dad or whatever. Like my dad wanted to be a doctor, he just didn't have any patience. Yeah. But and then after that, you say something like,
you know, it's a bad. I haven't heard. I'm gonna use that one. I'm sorry. I'm taking that.
But then after that, you go, yeah. But I'll never forget his last words before he kicked the bucket. Hey son, look how far I could kick this bucket.
Oh, that's so bad, but good.
Yeah, so you know what's funny about dad jokes is that I can't, like, I think that those are just normal jokes. Like, yeah, I must have never heard a dirty joke in my life because dad jokes seem so edgy to me. Like,
yeah, but you were telling me about that restaurant you went to on the moon, right? You said the food was really good, but you said there was zero atmosphere. We're good. I know there's some good stuff here. Thank you for being a good sport and kind of letting me do this because a lot of them you see the cringe in their face when I tell them the jokes and like you actually seem to be like the first one. You might be putting a good poker face, but you seem to actually enjoy them a little bit. Some people just
do.
Okay, so thank you. Anytime you make music, so here's the thing, you know, and you guys are from Vancouver, correct?
Yeah.
So, I don't know if you guys were big Vancouver Canucks fans, but TSN, there's always like the TSN turning point, and in movies there's kind of like the climax, right? Like the big kind of turning events, right? For Yukon Blonde, whether it was, a big show you did, a song you wrote, reception or something, what was the TSN turning point or climactic moment of Yukon Blonde where you were like, this is something that's I could probably do for a career. This is something that I can actually do for a livelihood, and it's not just a hobby. This is something I could do. When did that kind of sink in for the band?
I'm gonna do three. There's three real pivot points.
I would love that, man. Great.
So we always. The thing is that like I never had, and I feel like the reason why we're a band and we stuck together is because we never believed that we wouldn't be able to do it for a living, to the point where like there was a moment where me and Brandon and Graham were living in a van, basically our band van, and just we had to tour across the country, like just like we didn't have cell phones, we were so poor, we were like calling venues like on the way like we'd be like, okay, well we could be in Winnipeg tonight or tomorrow, and like we'd be there and we'd be busking or whatever, but we to get gas to go to like Thunder Bay or something. Yeah. But our goal was to always play the Commodore Ballroom in Vancouver, which is like we'd kind of grown up seeing the like our favorite bands ever play there and stuff. And so we got to do that. And then that like that's after a while, after a record or two or whatever. We got to play it, then we got to headline it, then we played it like a bunch of times now. But that was the first moment where I was like, okay, it's not in our heads. Like our goals are attainable, and we can make that happen. The second was when we got James Younger in our band as a bass player, who's since become one of my co-songwriters and co-producers of our music. He's just like he's like the perfect dude to have around. He's just like he's a multi-instrumentalist. He's phenomenal at what he does, and he's like recording, he's recording like loads of bands in Vancouver, including like the Zolas and stuff. Like he's producing everybody.
I'm interviewing the Zolas next week. Love that band.
Nice.
That band, I love you guys. Bands like Yukon Blonde, the Zolas. You guys also, I just want to say, have worked hard, because you guys haven't. Yeah. You guys have all been around for a long time, like a good amount of time, and like you put the work in. So I just want to say that, man. Like that, it's really good to see, man.
Thank you. So yeah, getting James on board when James was just ironically was the bass player of the Zolas, and we stole him. But that's what he did. He just played bass. He played bass for Black Mountain. He played bass for the Zolas. Like he just could you kind of went around. He had a solo project, that he worked on sometimes, but he was so grateful to be in, and and he says he's like, I'll never forget like sort of the inclusion that I got when I joined your guys' band. Like you were instantly like, okay, you could do whatever you want in here. Like we weren't like, you're a fill-in guy or you're the new dude. We were just like, yeah, man, let's just make some stuff. And like on the first record that we did with him on Blonde, he was co-writing all over the place. So like that was really, I don't know. So he's a big one. And Rebecca came right after, and she's been like amazing. Mm-hmm. And then the third one was like 2 years ago when we decided that we're going to record, engineer, produce, mix everything, like even do our own art. We were going to keep everything in-house from now on.
Or DIY,
yeah, or just with really good friends. And that's what this record is. It's the first foray into, it's the Vindicating record, hence the name.
I really like, because all those answers are so different. Like, you know what I mean? Kind of like, achieving a venue, someone joining the band and kind of like doing something together. That's like three like different but like super rewarding things too, right? If you think about it.
Yeah. Well, and they definitely changed the trajectory of things. Like they complete, like if those things didn't happen, the TSN turning point, man. Like if those didn't happen, who knows where we'd be? Probably in a better position. No, I'm kidding.
No, for sure. Jeff, thank you so much for coming on Popternative, man. I really enjoyed this.
Well, yeah, thanks so much. I didn't finish the last 3 songs though. From the other records. That you said you needed 6.
Yeah, you gave me 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
so I got to work backwards now because I feel like I got 3 really good ones. We got this song. It's okay. So I'm actually going to start with the upbeat song.
Yes.
Which, I don't really know. I don't care about. I Want to Be Your Man. Let's just say I Want to Be Your Man. I like that song. Ritual on the Docks on Critical Hit. It's the last song. That song was so fun to record and is like maybe the heaviest song I've ever written.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third one, Saturday Night.
Saturday Night's probably my favorite song by Yukon Blonde.
Yeah, thanks, man. I like that song too.
It's a good song. I really liked On Blonde because I feel like that was kind of the record. I don't know. I feel like there was like, that was just a word of mouth record. I remember like being in like I just like moved recently to Ottawa at that time, and like Ottawa has likes kind of the indie rock music. There's a good scene to that, and like that record was in like really good rotation. And you guys have played Ottawa quite a bit. You guys are received well in Ottawa.
Yeah, we did the big theater there with Hey Rosetta last time we were there. That was amazing.
I love that band. So many good bands.
Yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, no, I feel like this record is very much kind of in the spirit, like our Vindicator is very much in the spirit of On Blonde. It's kind of like, it's a weird return to form. It's
going back. I don't know, man, but here's the thing too, right? People ask me about this too, right? They go up to you. I mean, you, by the way you're kind of talking, you're very humble and modest. You know what I mean? You're making jokes about how like maybe we could be in better positions. I mean, you guys have accomplished a lot as a band. Okay, I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? I'm sure deep down you know that, but you've done a lot of cool things. Okay, but like
Thanks.
you know why it was successful is because you and the members of the band, right? Like did what works, you know what I mean? You kind of like made music a certain way that kind of worked for you, and you kind of looked at audience reception, you know what I mean? And like you're saying about On Blonde, right? That On Blonde did very well, did very well for Yukon Blonde, right?
I think so, yeah.
Like it did very well, right? So like the fact that you're saying that you're kind of going back a little bit to On Blonde is kind of like a smart thing, right? Because you're doing what works essentially.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds different. It's just a philosophy and it's a feel thing.
Yes.
Like Vindicator sounds different, but I mean, there's moments on Blonde and Vindicator that the whole thing just falls apart, and it's kind of beautiful when it happens.
Yep.
Like it's like these moments that you don't get with a super produced record, and like the sort of even numbers, which are Tiger Talk and Critical Hit, those were so produced that those moments don't really happen. So they're kind of different feels. Critical Hit's awesome, but it's very planned out. And On Blonde and Vindicator are just a mess. And I like that. I like that a lot.
Does it blow your mind that on Spotify, 102,949 people listen to Yukon Blonde on a monthly basis?
That is kind of crazy.
Isn't that's insane? Like that's a lot of people.
That is a lot of people. that is a significant amount of people.
I mean, that's amazing, dude.
I just thought of it in really dark terms, and I don't want to go into that.
No, but that's a lot of people, right? That's crazy.
Yeah, it is a lot of people. Whoa, your voice just got out of sync, and it looks really cool.
Oh, okay.
Just like,
no worries. But thank you so much for coming on the show, man. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So the new record Vindicator it's out now. People can listen to it.
Yep.
And where can people follow the band on social media to keep up to date with everything?
Well, I mean, I prefer our Instagram account. Yeah. I do a lot of analog photography in my spare time, and so I post the photos of the band on there. That's why I'm not in any of the photos, but I'm the front man of the band. Go figure. But it's because I'm taking all the photos on a film camera. So
absolutely.
But I like it. That's a good one. We're always on the Instagram, so if you want to say hi, just we've got nothing else to do.
Perfect. Well, seriously, thank you so much, and all the best with the continued success of the new record, man. It's awesome.
Yeah, thanks very much.
No problem. Well, this has been Popternative, youtube.com/Popternative for previous episodes. Check out Yukon Blonde's new record, Vindicator, available everywhere. And until next time, this is Petey Beats and Jeff from Yukon Blonde signing out.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.